Hello and welcome to the Healing Insight Podcast, episode 40, with me, Sarah Hunt.
And me, Jez Hunt.
Hello and welcome, everybody. It's good to be with you again. Hello, Jay. How are you today? We have sunshine appearing this afternoon, which makes a change from rain that we've had earlier in the day.
Yeah, we're in that autumnal place of rain, and we're not quite at that crisp winter mornings with the sunshine and the hoarfrost on the ground yet. We're just in that drizzly transition period.
Yeah, we had a lot of fog yesterday, actually. So, yeah, it's that foggy November weather. So, um, today, would
Yes,
it be good to talk about gratitude?
I'm grateful that you
Having,
brought this up.
oh, good.
Do you see what I did there?
Yeah, having the attitude of gratitude. um, Gratitude is a really important energy. I want to say energy
Okay.
because it is an energy as well as feeling, belief, mindset. And when we can get ourselves into a mindset of being grateful for all the opportunities and possibilities that are being presented to us, it can put us into a nice positive mindset. And it's a way that I've used to help some of my clients that have kind of been weighed down with things, stressed in a negative mindset, to actually shift that mindset into a more positive one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's kind of getting people to look at things that perhaps they would normally take for granted and recognize that there's something to be grateful for. Because when you're putting that energy of gratitude out, then more things to be grateful for will be sent your way.
Yes, as we've said before in previous podcasts, or as I've said before, maybe not, you haven't yourself. I can't remember, but as I've said before, we attract what we focus on. So if we're putting negative energy out, if we're angry or upset or just pissed off with the world, then we're going to find more of the stuff we're looking for. So if we have that attitude of, oh, my life sucks and my life's rubbish and I don't, then funnily enough, that's what you're going to manifest. That's what's going to happen.
Mm.
So therefore, if we are focused on the positive things in life and being positive and having a positive energy with intention, then that's going to attract more positive things. When I think you're right in that we do have a tendency to take things for granted, and I think as I've got older, I've become more aware of just, for example, just waking up this morning, opening my eyes and just being grateful to be alive, grateful that oh, it's great. The sun's coming through the window, and or I can hear the rain, or whatever it might be, and just sort of like, yeah, here's another day. Here's another day I can make a difference. Here's another day I can be slightly better than I was yesterday. Being grateful for things like a roof over our heads, for the breakfast that we eat when we wake up, for a cup of coffee, for the milk that goes in the coffee, for the coffee, but they're all things we can take for granted, and yet there are people who don't have as much as we have.
Absolutely. Yeah. But it's even been grateful for things like, I'm always grateful when I responds to me, when I say good morning to them when I'm out walking the dog.
Yes.
I'm grateful for the smell of the roses that I walk past that are blossoming on, where they're climbing up the wall of somebody's house. It's it is reminding us, isn't it, that we have so much to be grateful for, and some of us have a lot more to be grateful for than others, as you say. But even when you feel like you don't have a lot to be grateful for, if you actually sit down and think about it and think about everything, even the things that are negative, well, you perceive to be negative, um, are things to be grateful for, because actually they're giving you growth, they're giving you possibilities, they're giving you opportunities to make choices, to change things, to create situations, and to create your life as you actually want it to be. um, and it's very easy if we are in a situation where there's a lot of drama going on, where we've got what we perceive to be lots of negative things happening, to kind of find ourselves going in a downward spiral. But if we actually take a bit of time to be grateful, and like you say, first thing in the morning, but equally last thing at night,
Yeah. Well,
just
any time.
anytime really, just being grateful for things. There's times where I've perhaps seen a robin or a kingfisher when I've walked along by the river, or um, a really unusual wild flower or something, and I'll just put a little bit of gratitude out, a thank you to the universe for allowing me that experience of seeing that bird, or seeing that beautiful flower, because there is so much for us to be grateful for.
Yeah.
And equally with all the experiences that I have and I'm having, I'm always grateful for them. Sometimes sometimes I get a bit frustrated when things don't go quite the way I'd like them to be going, but that happens to all of us. But actually, when I stop and think about it, I'm very grateful for them, because they're bringing me a lot of growth. They're bringing me a lot of understanding of myself. They're bringing me a lot of opportunity for change, and for recognizing that I need to perhaps make changes in my own life, or address something that perhaps I've pushed away because it's uncomfortable to look at. But it's just, yeah, lots of opportunity, really.
Yeah. I'd like to pick up on something that you mentioned just now, where you said about, like your words, like you said, some people have more to be grateful for than others. And I disagree with that. And I didn't actually say that. Just for
That's
clarity
the
here.
way I heard it, isn't it?
That's the way you heard it.
Funny. Yeah,
So, yes, if you look at the world, some people have, depending on how you're judging it or how you're measuring it, some people have more than others. So whether that's more money, a bigger house, more things, it depends what you're judging it. Yet it doesn't matter what we have or don't have. We all have stuff to be grateful for. Okay.
absolutely. And actually, some of the poorest people who
Are
have
the happiest.
are the happiest. Yeah, because they recognize that being happy it comes from within, and it's about doing what makes your heart sing. And some of the most unhappy people are the ones that have got the bigger car, the better house, and they're always going after something outside of themselves, and haven't actually realized that actually everything that we truly need is within, and we need to be grateful for ourselves, and that ability to go inwards and discover all the good things about ourselves. So it's very easy, isn't it, to look at all the negatives, and I think we've kind of programmed into doing that, the negatives about ourselves, and actually there's an awful lot of good in all of us
Yeah.
that we need to be thankful for, that we need to be looking at and focusing on and recognizing is there. And I know I talked in the past about how people reflect things to us, and that's a way of us healing, because if they're reflecting something we don't like about ourselves, it's showing us that we need to look at that and address it. But equally, the people that cross our paths also um, are showing us the good things about ourselves as well. the bits that we like, and those are the bits, you know, well, all of it we need to be grateful for, really, because the bits of ourselves that we do like, we need to be grateful for because we've got those kind of mastered. But the bits that we don't like about ourselves, we need to be grateful for as well, because they're teaching us the lessons, they're helping us to grow, they're helping us to look at new possibilities and new opportunities.
Mm-hmm. A key point that you said was being grateful comes from within us.
Yes.
And to me, there is a direct correlation with being, being in the moment, being in the now, being, and being grateful.
Yes.
Because the more in the now you are, the more involved in the moment and what's going on. Like, for example, you're talking about walking down the river or seeing a robin, seeing a kingfisher and being grateful. You're in the moment. You're taking in what's happening around you, and you're showing gratitude for those beautiful things around you, whether it's the trees, the swans on the river, the way the sunlight dapples off, that's a good word, dapples off the surface of the water, you know, whatever it might be. Because we're more aware of it and we're not in our heads, in our self-absorbed issues of what's wrong with our life, what's the negative, which is our default as humans, is we can it's very easy. If you ask someone what they want, and I do this as a coach, you know, okay, so what would you like? What do you want in your life? Oh, I don't know. Okay, what don't you want? And they can list a whole load of stuff. I mean, it's just like there, bang, 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 bang. I don't want that, I don't want that, I don't want that, I don't want that. So it's very easy for us, and we default to what's wrong and what we don't want. And yet we find it very difficult to turn that round without help and looking at it of what we actually do want. And sometimes, you know, in terms of a technique, sometimes it can be as simple as, if you don't know what you want, then list out what you do, or the other way around. If you don't know what you want, list out what you don't want. And then what's the reverse of that?
What's the opposite of it?
What's the opposite of that? Because that will at least get you in the right ballpark of what you do want. And that's whether it's a life, a relationship, things in your life, I don't know, whatever it might be. So the more you can learn to be in yourself, be in that moment, be true, authentic you, and let go of all the what ifs from the past and, oh, if I'd only done that stuff, and the, oh, well, that might happen and this might happen in the future and that might happen and that might happen. If we can let go of all of that and just be in the moment, then you find that naturally you are drawn to the things around you, and you find that your heart, certainly for me and other people I've coached, your heart fills up with joy, and you are naturally grateful for the things around you.
To me, it's all really linked.
Yeah.
If you're in a place of love and in a place of joy and compassion, you're naturally in a place of gratitude.
Yes.
It kind of, to me, it all goes together and it all comes from within. So yeah, and if you're in a place of gratitude, then you're naturally in a place of love and compassion and happiness as well. And those four things seem to go very closely together to me.
Yes. And gratitude, I like the fact you said it's an energy. It is. It's also a habit.
Yes.
And it might not be our default habit, but as a habit, as something we can adopt and take on and develop, then it is something that we can learn, we can get better at doing. There's a book by Rhonda Byrne. She wrote The Secret, but she also wrote a book called The Magic, which is all about creating a gratitude habit. It's a really good book. So if anyone wants to learn more about gratitude and how to start incorporating it into your daily life as part of your daily routine, then that's a really good book to look at. And it looks at different ways of doing it and different things. So it's not just, oh, be grateful for 10 things in your life. It's looking at specifics. So sometimes it's talking about you, sometimes it's talking about, you know, just generally, and it gives you little, each chapter is like a different focus. So that can be really good. But it can be as simple as just being grateful for anything you do. So, for example, if I pay for something, So I go into a shop and I buy something, then I send gratitude with the money. So when I pay, I say thank you for me having the money to do that.
Be able to pay for that.
But
Yes.
it's also, and thank you that I am able to pass this money on for paying for this thing, which will ultimately go to staff of the shop or whatever, which will allow them to do things with that they want to do. So it's pushing it further out than just that initial thing.
Yes.
So thank you for the sun coming up today. I know we kind of expect the sun's going to come up today, but one day it might not. Who knows? But it's the thank you for the sun coming up because it brings warmth and light to allow the flowers to grow, and the flowers give us carbon dioxide. No, they don't give us oxygen. They take the carbon dioxide. Or yeah, okay. Biology was never my thing. But everything is connected. And we can say thank you for the sun coming up because it means I'm breathing another day. Well, that's okay. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. But you can take it further because
Yeah.
everything that we can be grateful for has a knock-on effect or a ripple effect with other things.
Yes, absolutely. So you you could be grateful for the sun coming up because it provides warmth to people, because it helps plants to grow so that we've got food to eat, because it helps us to synthesize vitamin D, which helps to keep our immune system strong. Um, so there's that's an example with
Yeah,
many different things that you can extend it out to more than things just for yourself, and having the attitude of gratitude, as you say, is about more than just being grateful for everything just for you, but because we're all interconnected, we're all over the planet, there's a lot that we can be grateful for that's helping lots of other people around on the planet in their daily lives as well.
yes, exactly.
And I think it's important for us to remember to look beyond ourselves when we're being grateful for things. And like you say, with money to me is an energy of exchange, and we're
Yes,
exchanging it for an experience or for something that we need. And then that money goes on and is exchanged again. So it might be wages for somebody so that they can then go and buy food or pay their rent or whatever it might be. So there's this continual kind of, as you say, ripple effect where everything's flowing, or should be
should be.
flowing,
Yeah,
flowing from us to other people and from other people back to us. So and it's things like being grateful when you are paid your salary at the end of the month or the end of the week, or if you're self-employed, when that next client books their appointment, it's being grateful for them booking their appointment and the money coming in, so that you have that to be able to do whatever it is that you want, so that you can have the experiences that you want to experience. um so it just takes it that bit further than just for yourself, doesn't it?
yes. And I think that's the other thing that I found with gratitude is not just gratitude actually is about this world is about more than just me.
Yes.
And we can get, and I have absolutely have been in there in the past where I've been so focused on me to the detriment at times with some people to other people. And so selfish in the sense of to the detriment of somebody else, not selfish as in me focusing on me and what's best for me in terms of my health and what have you. But if we go on the basis that we are all, and I believe this, that we are all here to bring something positive to the world, whether in my case it's coaching people, it's helping them understand and get over some of the issues that are stopping them from being the best they can be. For you, it's more energy, it's the energy healing side of it as well. It's so we all have something to give, we all have something to bring. If we allow ourselves to firstly have awareness and realize that, and then allow ourselves to let it come through. So just being grateful, or being grateful is more than me just being grateful for me. It's me being grateful for my client. So yes, it's grateful for the money, but grateful for the opportunity for me to be able to help that person move forwards, and grateful that I have found my purpose. Grateful that that person that I've just helped is going to move forwards and maybe help someone else. So something I say today has changed, or something that I've helped them see today has changed the way they perceive their life, the world around them. So they then go and act and behave differently in a positive way than they would have done before that conversation. And then that has an impact on somebody else, whether it's just walking down the street and smiling at someone when they would never have done that before.
Mm.
You know, it's more than just us. You know, it's not Jez Hunt on the planet and that's it. It's all of us trying to find our own selves. It's all of us trying on our own journey, trying to find where we fit in, what we bring to the world, to society, to humanity, and to ourselves. Stunned silence.
I know. There's not really anything I can add to that because I think you're spot on with it. Because every one of us is important.
Yes.
Every single one of us, and every single one of us has something different to bring to the planet. And it doesn't matter where on our journey of self-discovery we are. We all have something important, and we all have a ripple effect with the energy that we're putting out. So if we're in a state of being that is a positive state of being, that's one of love, it's one of joy, it's one of happiness, it's one of compassion and gratitude, then that has a ripple effect out, as you said earlier. It has a knock-on effect to those around us. Whereas if we're in a very sort of negative place, that too can have a negative ripple effect out on people. So really, the more that we can get ourselves into a state of being where we're in the moment, we're in a happy place, we're in a place of love, and we're in a place of gratitude, then that helps everybody on the planet.
Yes.
That helps everybody, because it will just ripple out. And you being in that kind of state of being, anyone that you come into contact with, that will lift them and put them into that state of being, which will lift the people that, and so it goes on, and it can actually ripple all the way around the planet without us actually realizing. That there's a big knock-on effect that each of us can have just by moving ourselves into a positive state of being, into a positive mindset, being more aware. More aware of who we are, how we're feeling, what we need to do to change the way that we're feeling, so that we are feeling upbeat and in a very positive place.
Yeah, change starts with one person. It starts from
Yeah.
within.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, so if you look at any significant change, somebody started it. Whether it's someone learning how to create fire way back when it was all discovered, or learning how to intentionally create fire. Somebody started it and then rippled that round, and people then learnt from that person, and so it went on. But it was one person that discovered how to put a spark on a particular bit of tinder of some kind.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. So I think it's important for us all to remember that we all have
a spark. We all have multiple sparks inside us. But we haven't necessarily, it's just to continue the analogy, we haven't necessarily found the tinder that's going to turn it into that idea that's going to move things forward for us or humanity or whoever. Or well, it doesn't even have to be that big, just to make a difference to somebody.
Yeah.
Because if we all make a positive difference to somebody that enhances their life, not take something away from them. So a positive intention, a positive something. If we all did that on a daily basis, what a different place this planet would be.
Absolutely.
And yet,
Absolutely. but we have to find that within ourselves first of all.
Yeah.
We have to find it. But it would make such a difference to the planet if all of us had that attitude of doing something each day that will make a positive difference to someone around us.
And gratitude and creating a habit of gratitude is a way to do that.
Yeah.
Another stunned silence.
I think for the listeners, there's maybe a couple of ways that you could look at making gratitude more of a habit. And it could be with a notebook and pen,
Yeah.
and just taking a few minutes in the morning or a few minutes in the evening or both, just to jot down a few things that you're really grateful for that day. You could do it with like have a vision board where you type thing, have a board where you put up for that week all the things that you're grateful for that week.
Yeah.
And then perhaps change it for the following week. You
I
could
like
use, yeah, that just popped in.
because you could start with a
Because it
blank
gives you
board.
something really visual,
You
doesn't
could
it?
start with a blank board at the beginning of the week, like a cork board or a pin board,
Yeah.
and then just pin something up each day or a couple of things each day. By the end of the week, you've got a snapshot, but you've got
Of
a
all
visual
the things.
snapshot. So you're engaging all parts of the brain. So you're then engaging emotion and energy into it as well. It's not just a list of things on a piece of paper. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, the other thing that I quite like doing, which I think is really good with children actually, is using a gratitude stone. So you could use a crystal that you're particularly drawn to, or I like using a pebble, and I paint pebbles and make them into gratitude stones. And I did one with Alicia, my eldest granddaughter, at the weekend, and got her to actually paint one and then varnish it, and it just gives a focus. And so with a gratitude stone, you can ask it to just store the energy of everything that you're grateful for, and you just sit and hold it, having sent it some love from your heart as you ask it to work with you, and then just tell it each day a few things that you're really grateful for that have happened that day for you. And the energy of that gratitude gets stored in the stone. So you can carry it around with you, or you can leave it by the bed, or you can have it close to where you're working. But it's just a reminder of the importance of gratitude, but it will also emit the energies of gratitude. So it's kind of just helping you to remember the importance of being grateful for everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
So, so
So,
another interesting topic. If anybody's interested in gratitude stones, I will have some on my Etsy site probably next week. So we can add the link in later on once I've got them up. But of course, you can paint your own if you prefer. So
absolutely. Something else that's just popped into mind before we hop off. As any regular listeners will probably have twigged by now, that if we look at all of the topics we've talked about, and so we're on episode 40 now, so we've had 40 different topics, but there are common themes, and you will have noticed that all of this is intertwined. So yes, we're talking about gratitude, but we move on to, we've been talking about self-confidence, looking at the bigger picture, looking at purpose, and these are all things that come up in other episodes as well. And all of this, in terms of what Sarah and I are doing with these recordings, is to help you look at your life and your journey from different entry points, different angles, different things that you might put a connection with or you might resonate with. The underlying point with all of this is we all have things that hold us back. We are all on our own journey, and we are all learning to overcome the things that are holding us back to allow us to move forwards. So if you're new to the podcasts, go back and listen to some of the others. Just look down the titles and see which one jumps out and resonates with you, and go and listen to it. And just remember that, there is no clear-cut answer. You have to find your own answers. You have to find your own truth.
Truth. Yeah.
Just follow your heart and be in the now, and trust that inherently you know what it is that's right for you.
Yeah.
So, and just use these tools and these topics that we've talked about, and some of the tools we've given you for each of the topics, to help you understand yourself better, help you understand the environment around you better, and help you understand maybe just where you fit into the bigger picture.
Yeah.
There you go. Hat trick of stunned silences.
Yes.
Must be a good episode.
Must be. That's brilliant. Thank you very
Thank
much. I'm
you.
sure we've given the listeners loads to think about today. Yeah, just taking it that little step further than just for each of us as individuals, but taking that wider picture, looking beyond just us, is so important when we're looking at gratitude. So thank you for your time today, Jay.
Thank you.
As always, listeners, if you've got any comments or questions, then please get in touch with us. Otherwise, until next time, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him.